What's up guys, it's Ryan and you're watching Ryan Vision. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe for more videos. You're looking at my 96 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo with a 5.2 V8. It's known as a ZJ, and right now it's sitting on, well, in the front it's 5.5 inches of lift because it's a 3.5 inch Rubicon Express coil spring with a 2-inch spacer. And in the back it's just a little bit higher. I would estimate maybe 6.5 inches in the rear. I ran into a problem. If you've been watching my earlier videos, actually let me take you here first to show you what I'm talking about in case you haven't seen the earlier videos. You can see here that's a 3.5 inch coil spring with the 2-inch spacer, and then right above it is just a brand new coil isolator. So I had those same spacers in the back. I was running a 3.5 inch spring in the back with a 2-inch spacer, but you can see that right here the stock bump stop or coil seat, whatever you want to call it, when I had the 2-inch spacer on there, here's the new isolator, so the 2-inch spacer, you know, went from here to here. And what happened was when we went out and tested this out at the local off-road park, when I flexed out all the way, even though I have limiting straps, when I backed up, the axle would shift forward enough and the spring would drop down enough that the coil spacer would actually pop out. And then once the coil spacer popped out, obviously the spring could pop out. So we were laying underneath the Jeep with, you know, a ratchet strap, compressing the coil, getting everything put back in there. It was just a real pain in the ass. So the solution was, let's get rid of the coil spacers in the back, and we'll just go to a you know, 5.5 inch coil in the rear. Well, the only company I found that made a 5.5 inch ZJ coil for the rear was Rusty's Off-Road, and nothing against them. I mean, I've tried some of their stuff out. I have their heavy duty lower control arm mounts on my front axle, and I also have their adjustable track bars front and rear. I did have bad luck with their steering. I've upgraded that to Iron Rock Offroad since then. But you know, I didn't want to take a chance with their springs, to be honest. So Rubicon Express I knew was good. I had those on the front already, and that's what I wanted to try to find. Well, unfortunately Rubicon Express doesn't make a 5.5 inch spring for the rear. I called Iron Rock Offroad because they have a 5.5 inch long arm kit, which is essentially what I'm running. And I asked them about their springs because I couldn't find them on the website, and they said, well, you would have to order our 3-inch XJ front springs and put them on the rear of your ZJ in order to get 5.5 inches of lift. Well, with that in mind, I wanted to get Rubicon Express springs, so I went and found Rubicon Express 3.5 inch XJ front springs and threw them on the back. And what I'm reading on the forums and stuff is these Rubicon Express springs are really good. They don't really settle once you get them. They're pretty much, you know, they are what they are as far as ride height. So it's not like super obvious. The only reason I know, I mean, maybe you can kind of tell, it's just raked up a little in the back. I measured it, it's about 1 inch. So as far as I can tell, I'm 5.5 inches in the front, 6.5 inches in the rear. But the reason I know for sure it's higher than it was with the coil spacers is because I did one side at a time. And when I did that, I got behind it and I looked, and I did the driver's side first, and when I looked at it from the rear, the passenger side was about 1 inch lower than the driver's side. But it looks really nice now. I like it, and it didn't mess up my track bar adjustment in the rear. That's still centered pretty good, so I'm going to leave all that as is. Another thing I wanted to show you is my buddy Joel. He got to work on this with his air tools and a cutoff wheel, and you can see that my front fenders have been trimmed quite a bit. We got a lot more clearance in here now. I still got to take this front bumper. I trimmed the front bumper up, but I got to take it and screw it up to here so it's nice and tight, and I'll touch it up with a Dremel tool, get the fine line a little smoothed out and smooth this line out as well. But that'll give me a lot more clearance. And then he took a big hammer and went to work in here and smashed this back even more than it was. So that's cool. One of my sway bar holders, which is actually a bedroom handcuff, broke. So the one's working on the other side, but I guess I tightened this one too tight while I was driving on the road, and it broke. So just got a ring hanging here through a little hole we drilled, and the Velcro's broken, but I'll just get a strip of Velcro and run it through the ring, and then that's what I use to hold the sway bar up when it's disconnected. So basically that's what we did today. The other day I did the rear springs, and then today Joel did the cutout fenders. And also the main thing Joel did today was he took off the brand new defective water pump. It was not remanufactured, it was a brand new one, but it was leaking from the front seal. So it wasn't anything he did, it was leaking, and we took it back to O'Reilly's. They warrantied it, they gave us a new one once we took the old one off. So now I can finally say once again the Jeep is leak free. It's dry as a bone underneath. The rear main's not leaking, the pan's not leaking, no coolant's leaking, everything is sealed up once again. It's running great, and now we're back to 180-degree thermostat. The fan's dialed in, it runs right at 210. It's perfect. I couldn't be happier right now. Also, we had an issue with the driver's side headlight. That's been taken care of with some stuff that Joel had. So it's good to go now. We're ready for another test run, and gonna take it out to Prairie City and see how it does now that we can back up at full flex without a spring falling out in the back, and now that we got the clearance we need to flex in the front while we're turning. We could flex fine before as long as we cut the wheels straight in the front, so now we should be able to turn without rubbing the fender, because I don't want to slice and dice these brand new tires. So like I said, guys, I'll keep you posted on Project ZJ, and make sure you give me a like, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I've been uploading videos regularly to keep you guys posted on the Jeep, and I'll continue to do so. And I did shoot some footage of the 350Z. Some of you guys have been hitting me up with messages asking when I'm going to post new videos of that. I got some footage already, I just got to edit it and upload it, so stay tuned for that. Alright guys, have a good one. See ya.